So I 100%ed LEGO Lord of the Rings, and it was pretty peak. Just like the LEGO Batman trilogy and LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga, these games are made for dumb fun, which is exactly what my experience was like for these games. I remember when I was younger that I had played LEGO Lord of the Rings on my iPad, and now all I could remember from it was the first 2 levels of the game. So I think it's pretty obvious that playing this game again would be nostalgic to me. Well, at least for the first 2 levels, of course. I saw this game for sale on the Steam store for like $5, and I was like, yeah, I gotta get this. So here's how it went. We start the game off with a little lore recap, and then get thrown straight into battle with Sauron's forces in Mordor, and then get to fight the big man himself. This is the first and last time we're gonna see him like this. We have a legendary battle, even though I get flattened a few times. Dollar store Aragorn cuts off Sauron's ring finger, then Sauron explodes. Timu Aragorn and the Red Skull go into Mount Doom to destroy the ring, but then he says no. Then he gets Swiss cheesed, and the ring ends up in Gollum's hands. And then Bilbo's. And then the level ends, giving me the first achievement of the game. The strength of men failed. The goat Gandalf makes his first appearance, and threatens Bilbo to leave the ring with Frodo. Bilbo then leaves so he can give Frodo literal plot armor later in the story. Gandalf tells Frodo that he's now responsible for the ring, which immediately makes Frodo a target. Gandalf leaves to go speak to Saruman, and Frodo goes to hang out with the homies. But they end up in a forest being hunted by the Grim Reaper himself. While this is happening, Gandalf finds out Count Dooku is a traitor, then he gets flung around like a Gmod ragdoll. I have trouble figuring out the difference between the hobbits. The hobbits barely escape the Grim Reaper like he's the T-Rex from Jurassic Park. And then the level ends, giving me it's a dangerous business. The hobbits decide to go into a tavern, having a few drinks and meals, until one of the hobbits bumps into Frodo, causing him to drop the ring and accidentally using it, which lets Sauron lobotomize Frodo for the rest of the game. The goat Aragorn sees the ring and takes the hobbits to a mountain to hide from the Nazgul. Aragorn leaves for some reason. The hobbits start a fire to cook a meal, causing them to be found again. They end up cornered, so Frodo uses the ring to help everyone scare the Nazgul with fire, which ends up with Frodo being stabbed and infected. Aragorn is back and kills all the Nazgul. Now that Frodo is sick, we have to go to the elves to cure him, giving me the achievement, that is no trinket you carry. The guys make it to the home of the elves. Gandalf has escaped Count Dooku and is also there with the elves. All the important people of Rivendell have a meeting to discuss what they will do with the ring. They end up deciding to have the ring go to Mordor to be destroyed where it was created, in Mount Doom. The Fellowship of the Ring is formed, and Bilbo just so happened to be at Rivendell and gives Frodo mithril armor and a sword. And then the Fellowship heads out on their adventure, giving me, great, where are we going? The guys hike a snow-filled mountain, and Frodo drops the ring, again, which catches the eye of Boromir, making him stare concerningly at the ring, like he's going to goon to it later. He gives the ring back to Frodo, and now Aragorn is suspicious of Boromir. The guys decide that being on the mountain any longer sucks, so Frodo takes Gimli's advice and wants to go to the mines of Moria. They make it to the entrance to the mines, but then are attacked by giant bad dragons. Legolas shoots the monster's eyes, and they manage to escape, ending the level, and gives me the long way around. The Fellowship go into the mines just to get attacked again, but this time by orcs and a troll. That ends up stabbing Frodo, but he's completely fine because of the armor that Bilbo gave him. The guys make it out of the mines, but Gandalf stays behind to fight the Balrog, and presumably dies, ending the level with, this is no mine, it's a tomb. The Fellowship meets up with some other group of elves, and they give Frodo and the guys new abilities, and then the Fellowship heads off again, but this time on canoes. They get back on land, and Frodo dips to be alone for a while. Unfortunately, Boromir's alone with him, looking crazy. Boromir crashes out and tries to take the ring from Frodo, but he puts it on and makes Boromir schizophrenic, and tweaks out even more. Frodo gets away from Boromir, and Sauron scares the shit out of Frodo, and barely gets away again. Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli search for Frodo. On their way doing so, they are attacked by orcs again, now fighting alongside Boromir, who sadly meets his fate, and tells Aragorn that
I would have followed you, my brother, my captain, my king. No.
We come back to Frodo leaving on a canoe before Sam comes with him so he can protect Frodo and help him destroy the ring. The level ends giving me
Let us hunt some folk.
and that's the first LEGO Lord of the Rings movie in Legos. Now we are on the Two Towers part of the trilogy, with Sam and Frodo moving ever so closer to Mordor, while being stalked by Gollum. Gandalf is still alive, and shows off why he's one of the top 3 goats in Lord of the Rings. Gollum takes fish that probably weigh a ton each, because how on Middle Earth does fish hold down a giant rock gate, or whatever that thing is? Either way, I get the fish back, then Frodo and Sam take a nap before fighting the Tweakmaster himself. They defeat Gollum, which ends the level, giving me on the Precious. Gollum takes Sam and Frodo into a swamp, where they have to put out fires that are in water. They also have to avoid a big scary dragon. They narrowly escape and make it to the Black Gate, but Gollum says he knows a better way to get into Mordor. Along the way, they meet the brother of Boromir, Faramir. He sees the ring on Frodo's neck and says they must bring it to Gondor. This short level ends giving me soft and quick as shadows. We swap back to the trio looking for Merry and Pippin. They figure out that they were kidnapped by orcs, but the trio doesn't know that they escaped and meet a wise old tree that brings them to a mysterious then pops up, safe is where I'll keep you. Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli find the mysterious Aura farmer, and it's Gandalf, and he tells the trio that it's time to go to war. This level starts off with Gandalf guilt-tripping a guard, then reveals that he is white, surprising the demon guy. We wreck the place, then fold the demon like an omelet. The manipulated old dude is normal again, and knows that Gandalf wants him and his people to fight. But he's like, nah, let's hide in Helm's Deep, just for his people to get attacked like 2 minutes later. We kill a bunch of enslaved animals. Aragorn gets kicked off a cliff, giving me stinking creatures. All of the survivors of the attack make it to Helm's Deep, sad that Aragorn is dead. But then boom! Aragorn pulls up like nothing happened.
That's what I'm talking about! That's why he's the MVP! That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
And he also reveals that there's an army of 10,000 orcs coming straight to Helm's Deep. The elf army also pulls up because they know that the humans are cooked without them. The orcs show up and destroy the wall and the front door, making everyone fall back. Then Aragorn and Theoden make a last stand. They end up being saved by Gandalf with his reinforcements, giving me the battle is about to begin. The story is back on the 3 hobbits and the dragon that won't leave them alone. I do a bunch of puzzles and then kill the dragon. I think? Well, whatever happened to it, it's gone. Faramir lets the hobbits go back to Mordor. Now we're on the D plot, I think, with Merry and Pippin with a bunch of Groots. I destroy everything in Isengard, and at the very end, I have to destroy a dam. Right, listen to this. And I shit you not, there wasn't enough rocks next to the dam to throw at it, because in this level, there's just a bunch of rocks that used to basically destroy everything. And like every rock despawned, except the ones at the very start of the level. So I had to take my big ass, slow ass tree trunk to grab a rock from the start of the level. We flood the place and most of the fellowship is back together. The level ends and I get a wizard should know better. Gollum fights with himself and decides he's going to kill Sam and Frodo for the ring. Now we're on Return of the King, which personally is my favorite movie of the trilogy because it's just so peak. Like, all the best shit happens in this movie. Besides that, Pippin wants to look at Gandalf's big ball and finds out that PlayStation is stopping the production of physical games to sell digital only, so that you don't really own any game that you buy from PlayStation, and that they can also just take whatever you buy from them away from you whenever they want, whenever they please. Cause fuck you, right? The trio is led by Aragorn into a cursed mountain to see if the dead will fight for their king. They have a big long fight where they somehow hurt ghosts. Aragorn makes a deal with the dead to fight for their freedom from immortality, giving me they have been summoned. Theoden's army is riding to Minas Tirith, where Gandalf is, and could definitely use their help. And their help is what he gets. This level begins with a full-scale attack. The stupid dragon shows up for like the 5th time, and I didn't mention her before, but this is Eowyn, the daughter of Theoden. She secretly joined the battle with Merry when they were explicitly told not to go. But good thing they did, because Éowyn slays the dragon, and the Thumb of Sauron sees this and says,
No man can kill me.
so Éowyn reveals herself as a woman and then kills him with the help of Merry. Then he fades away like the fun of a Steam friend slap game. Aragorn pulls up with the army that could have ended the movie way quicker, but the deal was that they were just gonna fight this one battle. And so they did. But during this battle, I kill an elephant with Legolas, giving me the achievement.
That still only counts as one!
Theoden gets the Darth Maul treatment and dies in front of Éowyn. Aragorn plans to attack Mordor with everyone that's still alive to give Frodo more time to destroy the ring, ending the level with you and whose army. Now we're back with the hobbits, whose sanities are dropping by the hour. At this point in the story, the orcs are barely going to Minas Tirith. While that is happening, the hobbits are getting a killer leg day workout up the steepest staircase ever. Frodo is starting to turn more deranged, while this little shit Gollum is manipulating him into thinking that his day one is going to switch up on him. Frodo and Gollum leave Sam behind and go into the cave of the
Giant enemy spider.
Gollum pushes Frodo's patience and then gets thrown off the mountain. Sam reunites with Frodo, and Frodo apologizes for abandoning him. Then the level ends, and I get Naughty Little Fly. Frodo gets paralyzed and cocooned, leaving Sam alone with the giant spider, damaging it enough that it retreats, never to be seen again. Frodo gets kidnapped by orcs, so Sam has to go and rescue him. They kill a bunch of orcs, and then I get soft locked, because I was carrying a piece of armor on Sam's person that was for Frodo. So I restarted the level, then beat it and got "We did it, Mr. Frodo." The remaining fellowship arrive to the Black Gate and fight the rest of Sauron's forces. And then this stupid fucking dragon shows up again! How many times will it come back just to fucking die? They fight a bunch of trolls, a Nazgul, and do a bunch of puzzles. Eagles show up and kill the Nazguls in the air. Then the level ends with "This day we fight." We are in the endgame now, as this is the last story level in the game. Sam and Frodo make it to Mount Doom, and it is a direct callback to the very first level. And it's basically the exact same, except there's a boss fight with Gollum, where we huck rocks at him. Frodo and Sam make it into the cracks of Mount Doom, and then Frodo finally gives into the ring. Gollum crashes out over this and bites off Frodo's hand like a savage, and then he falls into the lava regardless. His greed and obsession with the ring is what ultimately got him killed and saved the world. Sauron is finally defeated, Sam and Frodo escape Mount Doom and are saved by Gandalf. Aragorn is crowned the rightful king, and everyone pays their respects to the 4 brave, peaceful hobbits that saved the world. It's gone. Is the last achievement I can get for the main story levels in this game. Now I have access to the full open world of LEGO Lord of the Rings to finish the remaining achievements, which involves me doing a bunch of random chores or little favors for random people, like finding a skeleton key for a skeleton house, and going around fighting every character seen in the story and in the books to buy them. I think. You know what? Yeah, definitely the books too, because who the fuck is Tom Babbage? I have to collect all red bricks, Mithril bricks, blacksmith designs, get True Adventure on all levels, all mini kits, and buy all characters, and play the hidden bonus level. There are also a bunch of random achievements that are earned by doing specific things with specific characters. Sadly, I basically don't have the footage for most of everything I just described, but I will show what I do have. And now finally, the last achievement I got. Delve to Greedle. Collect more than 10 billion studs. This one took me longer than it should have because I collected everything in the levels first instead of the open world to get the red brick stud multipliers. Overall, I had a lot of fun playing and 100%ing Lego Lord of the Rings. And yeah, that'll be it. Have a good one.